Main screen. There you go.
I thought everyone was talking about that one was dying. All right.
I said going live doing the tweet.
I mean,
biscuits.
Yeah, biscuits. I don't know. I usually sit in starting soon for like 5 to 10 minutes, but like I'm happy to do it quicker. Besides, I'm on Twitch hiatus, so the only thing I'm doing on Twitch for a while is going to be the podcast. So I anticipate that'll be a month, maybe 2. And you know what? Elden Ring got delayed, so I'm going to delay my return to Twitch for a month too.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe Elden Ring is the day I come back.
Good things come to those who wait. Also, while we're on the topic of talking about our shit, I got a fucking album finally coming out on Thursday, so I'm very excited about that.
Can we get a preview?
I mean, I've got previews going on the
now.
What, you want me to beatbox the thing? I mean, I've got. Okay, what track number do you want?
We're live, but we haven't started the show really.
What track number do you want?
Insert track here for the listeners.
Oh, I thought you meant like me literally like in the stream.
I don't know.
I've got.
How does
what number do you want? What number do you want? What number do you want?
7.
7. Did you know that there were 7 tracks in the thing? Specifically? Let's just pick a random point in it.
Seems legit.
It's pretty chill. And you can check out, I've got like previews of the tracks going on Twitter, which also reminds me that I've not actually done that today.
Oops.
So great. I've been hanging out with family and stuff. I'll do it tomorrow. We couldn't do one yesterday because it was God's chosen day, and no music on God's chosen day or something. I don't know.
No music or happiness allowed.
On Saturdays,
right? No, Sundays, but he's putting it out.
No, sweetie, today's Sunday.
You said God's day.
Is Sunday not God's day? That's when you go to church.
Well, you said yesterday.
Yeah,
no, I'm saying that tomorrow I will say that about today.
I am so confused. I'm trying to tweet here. Stop.
Actually, that kind of works because I think the one that I do tomorrow is the one that kind of sounds a little bit more religious-y.
I was going to say, does it sound more blasphemous?
Yeah, there's one. It's the longest name of a track that I've got so far because I'm always weirdly worried that like
to isekai up your track titles.
Well, no, because like I feel like it's kind of okay. I'll ask the audience on this one. Do you think like having like every single track be like a one-word title is like a bit douchey? Because I always feel a little bit douchey doing one-word things for all my tracks.
I mean, is a one-word person's name douchey?
I mean, to a certain extent, depending on what you're talking about.
Like naming yourself Yee.
Well, that's just Kanye.
Hey!
I mean, you know, I think there's a pretty good argument that he's a bit full of himself.
And on that note, welcome to the Inconsolables podcast, episode 257, streamed live on Twitch, coming out on audio and YouTube on October the 26th on Tuesday, as always.
It's a mukbang. Also, I don't know why my phone's going off.
Silence your phone, my god.
Well, I usually I had it silenced and you were fucking texting me and then you were like, what are you answering?
I mean, I texted you to speak because I was an hour early. Clearly, because I'm a moron.
I mean, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, when you're like, usually we do it this time, and I'm like, oh, that's the early time for my plebby, but that's fine. Anyway.
I'm fine with doing it earlier. I just want it to be like everyone knows that before.
Yeah, no, I thought it was. That's why I said I'm an idiot and called it for an hour early, and we just came here on time, so it's all good. Doesn't matter. Don't worry. Hi. Welcome, podcast.
Alcohol.
Words,
I need
English,
it today.
Mead. Cheers.
Cheers.
Beep.
Now that that's out of the way, shall we get in the game news?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Now, I'm ready.
Well, this one isn't highlighted. I assume that you brought it though, Sam.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I wanted to, you know, not put my color on everything so people can, you know, put, you know, whatever
I put stuff in. Everyone put something in.
I'm not saying, not put it in. I'm saying that just because I put it in first doesn't mean that you can't talk about it. Because I imagine you've got more to say about God of War than I fucking do.
Well, sure.
God of War. PC,
January. I typically highlight the stuff for who's leading the story because they're the one who brought it.
Oh,
if you don't want to
what
read
is
it,
this?
Whatever. Anyway.
What is this? I didn't notice this before. Tell me about it.
Lante is the one leading this. Haunted Chocolatier. It looks like Stardew a lot. It seems more of a capitalist version.
Well, fun. I mean, it's by Concerned Ape, so yes, he's clearly using the same engine as he used for Stardew and the same.
Yeah, but with a different
it's the
look
same.
to it.
Yeah, I mean, a different similar art style.
Okay, similar art style, different color palette, different vibe to the locales and stuff.
Yeah,
but very clearly Stardew.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably almost go at least from what I watched in that trailer, I'd almost go as far as saying it's same world but different setting, like in a city kind of thing, right?
Different.
Because there was a section where they're out fighting the same slimes. So
I didn't get city. I got a little hamlet, on the Swiss Alps kind of vibe.
Someone said asked in the trailer, "What's it like living in the city?" But that also might be you've moved from the city again.
Yeah.
Small place. So.
Well, hello, Jimmy. If you ever find yourself fucking hating all the dipshit bosses that you don't want to fuck with anymore, I've got a little chocolate ranch in the Swiss Alps. If you'd like to do that, all right?
But it's haunted.
Yeah, it's haunted. I mean, I imagine we're not going to get too deep into the actual, I got stabbed kind of thing. It's just going to be there's a little round white thing and it does the helping. Casper. Yeah. Don't think too much about the specifics.
Yeah.
Did Casper die again? Didn't he get left out in the winter or something?
I don't know, probably.
Let's have a look at this.
Yep, sure. I mean, anyway, game looks cutesy. I'll totally play it after having after how much Stardew took over my life. So,
it says here he took so much dick that he just died at
Seems legit.
He died from pneumonia after playing out in the cold until it was past night. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. That's how Casper the Friendly Ghost died.
Oh.
Because it had to be died to become a ghost. Last I checked. Or just put a sheet over your head. I guess.
Having sex with a hooker and then the hooker stabbed him.
Clearly.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Speaking of ghosts, EA has dropped FIFA for its soccer game. I don't know where the connection there is.
Yeah, I didn't care about this at all. Fuck FIFA, fuck
EA. Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up. Anyway, IFA. Yes.
EA.
IFA. No, so EA has dropped FIFA for its future soccer games. They're rebranding it to EA Sports FC.
FC sounds for
football club.
Football club, probably. Oh, okay, great. I think. Anyway,
a European term. Interesting.
Yeah.
They just don't want to pay FIFA anymore.
Pretty much, but if you're saying football time in English, calling it football versus soccer. I mean, even here, our Sydney soccer team for the A League is called Sydney FC. So
Sydney fuck.
Yep, Sydney fuck.
Yeah,
as opposed to fuck Sydney, which is what most people say. Anyway, says the guy who's from Sydney. Look, I love Sydney. It's a shithole, but it's my shithole. Okay,
can gang up on that one.
Anyway.
I can't believe we have to go in a lockdown for a weekend. Yeah.
Oh dear. Anyway, FIFA has been shopping around, talking to devs and investors and stuff to try and get a new licensor because they want money, obviously. Yeah, that's kind of pretty much it. FIFA has said, as a quote, FIFA is bullish and optimistic about its long-term future in gaming and esports following a comprehensive and strategic assessment of the gaming and interactive entertainment market. It is clear that this needs to be a space that is occupied by more than one party controlling all rights, which is kind of rich coming from FIFA since that's literally what they do. So,
I wonder if that's why, instead of Tiger Woods and shit, they've got the PGA Tour one coming out whenever that comes out.
Possibly.
Because I went from Tiger Woods to Rory McIlroy, which was shit. Not the person, the game. And now they're like PGA Tour. It's just like, oh, we're not sponsored by anybody. And then it's going to go from PGA Tour to just like esports, golf. We did with the stick and the yeah. Nobody owns
golf.
This.
To Mario Golf.
Drive hit.
Mario Golf.
To Waluigi Golf.
Mamma mia.
Anyways, moving right along, Square Enix has decided to remove Denuvo from a bunch of their PC games. Which has been,
they did.
Well, they already removed it from these three, but apparently
it's a Removo.
Removo Denuvo. Yeah, nice.
Hey.
Yeah,
wow.
So they've patched and removed it this week from Nier Replicant, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And they're looking at either removing it for more and potentially not using Denuvo in the future. There's some speculation around the reasoning, potentially expiring licenses because you've got to pay Denuvo to use Denuvo, or compatibility issues with a new set of Intel chips coming out.
What a shame.
From what I understand, Denuvo causes problems for every game, so like new Intel chips just be like, yeah, you know what? Even if the new shit can't run it, the old shit sure as hell can't.
I'm really hoping now that there's like some kind of crack that removes like Denuvo DRM that is called Removo. If not, then we haven't tried hard enough.
Let's have a quick Google on that one because I mean there've been plenty of pirates who have been cracking
Removo
and removing it.
Well, there's Renuvo, whatever the hell that means. Denuvo Removo. There we go. Crack work.
Hey,
very good.
Beautiful.
Very good. Don't.
Good.
Sort
Bare
of.
minimum.
Well, if you don't pirate, I won't say that on live television at all. I'll never say that.
If you are going to go sailing, then just sail safely. Make sure you've got your supplies for a long voyage. Make sure you've got your charts and an experienced navigator. That's all I'm going to say. And lots of rum.
Whole Bobby caught it captive or something.
Yeah, that too.
I don't know. I don't know what people do when sailing. I get seasick.
Well, yeah, fair.
I'm a landlubber, damn it.
Yeah. I once did take a small cruise on a tall ship in Sydney Harbour with Shay, and I got to climb the rigging and stuff. That was fun and also terrifying.
Yeah.
So no chance for an Inconsolables cruise down the line.
Oh, I'm down.
I mean a cruise.
I loved it. It was climbing the rigging was terrifying. I loved being on the ship. My favorite holiday ever was a cruise holiday. Yeah, where we literally went to the middle of nowhere and I couldn't get messages from work. It's great.
What the hell would be the Inconsolables cruise though?
We just get on a cruise. I don't care where we go as long as we're on the water, because then you're exactly right. Nobody can contact you, and you get in one where you get all the foods included, all the food's included, all the alcohol's included.
All the food's included. Alcohol, we have to buy an alcohol package.
You wake up, you go to one restaurant, and then you walk to the next restaurant, and then you walk to the next restaurant, and then you go to bed.
And then you
walk to the pool. Well, you walk to the pool. You don't go into the pool. You go to the bar next to the pool. You grab a drink. You lie down next to the pool, drinking your drink.
Then you grab this chain. And then you grab this chain. And then you jump off the side of the deck. And then we use it to make sure the thing doesn't move too far.
Then we jet ski.
Well, I mean, I'm down for an Inconsolables cruise once COVID dies down and it's safe to be on a ship again.
What we need to do first, and I was like thinking this, and it's like
we're live, Shay.
Tangent.
Just so you know.
All right.
She's not even in frame, but she's right next to me.
I mean,
she's partly in frame now. Oh, good. Right. She's
Satan worshipper, are you?
Well, you were talking about the Sabbath before, so.
I mean, here's what I'll say. One thing that I was thinking about, and this is like 70% a good idea and 30% a good pun, but I want to make like a network which is just like us, news to reviews, and like Peeves and Qs and maybe a couple of others, and we call it some permutation of like Inconsolables Inc. or Inconsolables.
Yeah. Consolable
Incorporated Solable,
Yeah, but I mean,
and then we do a cruise. Perfect.
I was going to say, wouldn't our cruise holiday be the Inconsolables?
The Inconsolables.
You go sailing. Oh, the Inconsolables, that also works. All right, let's get through our quick stories, and then we'll jump to the naughty corner.
Inconsolables, in cruise. I don't know. Now this is getting bad. This is getting awful.
We're just
This is becoming even stories. Ironically funny.
Quick stories.
Steam's doing deck verification, and we can make whatever penis joke we want if we want to do that. But
Steam's got a good dick.
Look at this duck. So yeah, they're gonna check which stuff works on Steam Deck, and I'm just kind of jazzed because like that actually indicates that like they actually believe in this shit, and I don't know, it makes me more confident that things will actually run on it if they're gonna bother doing that.
If they bother testing and marking it on the games, yeah.
Yeah, it also just like is better than the Steam machine because like let's be real, no one fucking talked about the Steam machine. There was nothing on any of the games that was like, hey, Steam machine exists. So it is a free advertising.
This is how confused with Stream Deck and Steam Deck again, right?
No, I just Googled Steam Deck release date in Australia because I was like, can we even get it yet? Am I meant to be excited? And Google popped up and just said December 2021. And I'm like, hold the phone. And then they're like, no, not in Australia. Fuck you, Google.
You idiot.
Yeah. That's the thing.
I explicitly put Australia in the Google name.
The problem there is when Google
shit about Australia.
When you Google something like that and it pops up a release date in its big box, though, it just pulls it from whatever article it finds it. So the article probably we don't have a release date announced.
Nobody
so it would have pulled it for one that had a release date. So it's gone, yep, December in places that are...
You're forgetting that nobody gives a shit about Australia in America apart from Candace Owens, who wants to invade and just fucking bomb the shit out of Australia or some shit.
That's right, yeah.
To save us.
Liberate
fucking
Australia
Christ.
from lockdowns.
I don't want your liberation. Fuck off.
I think we were talking about this in Discord, right? It's like we don't have enough oil for America to forcibly invade us.
PSYCOPATHY. You ain't got no alibi. You're a fucking sociopath. Go fucking jump off a cliff.
We really took a fucking swerve from there.
Alright, next. God of War's coming to PC in January.
I don't give a shit. Fuck it. Can I just say, fucking IGN, they're the fucking massive, like, best game ever kind of survey, and God of War 1, I'm just like, I mean, it's good. I don't understand how people think it's the best fucking thing ever made. Like, chill the fuck out.
I'd probably put it very close to the top of the list because it's definitely one of the better games I have played, particularly in recent memory, and I think that's part of it. People have very short memories.
Yeah, I was going to say, Sammy, humans are very short-sighted and very short-term memory.
But there is also the other side of it, right? Where it's like, you know, the more recent God of War games is still going to be a far better game from a technical perspective, from a storytelling perspective, etc., than something from the 80s, 90s, right? Like, this is
I just feel like people are off their tits with it. Like, cool down.
I would put that God of War towards probably my top 5, to be honest.
Right.
If I'm not allowed to just make my top 5 Soulsborne, then God of War definitely makes it pretty high.
Hey, our entire quest is going to the top of this cliff. Hey, we got to the top of this cliff. Hey, I'm the person in the tree. You should go down the cliff. It's like, okay. Repeat for like, another 5 hours. It's like, all right, cool. I want to leave now.
Depending on how good the port is, I may well rebuy that on PC pretty quickly.
Maybe. Go for it.
I'm happy to play
Advance Wars.
Advance Wars Switch remake.
Are you a fan of Advance Wars?
I liked the couple of Advance Wars games I played on the DS. It's fun, and it's kind of the modern warfare.
Risk.
I mean, it felt more like a modern warfare take on Fire Emblem.
Sure.
It's the same. As far as I understand, it's the same devs, but it's like you still got your top-down tactics and stuff, and it's just tanks and soldiers with guns rather than magic and dudes with swords, right? Anyway, their remakes were coming to Switch. My concern about those remakes was the art style was weird. Like, super cartoonified it, and it just
that wasn't the issue, was it? Like the issue was that they made it like CGI, and it was like all blocky and stuff.
3D thing
the cartooniness I thought was fucking good. Like it was good shit, but then they were just like, "What if we made it 3D because all the children really love 3 dimensions. Like, no, it's bad. It looks bad.
Flat textures. Anyway, it's been delayed to quote-unquote spring 2022. I assume that is American spring, because fuck anyone outside of America, I guess.
I really wish they'd
Candace
stop
Owens
doing
really
that.
loves us, though.
Because there's like half a planet that it doesn't, like, when they say spring 2022, it's only for Northern Hemisphere. They completely
who else is there? Like, the entire market is like, what, like fucking China, Japan, America, UK, Europe. Like, what's in the Southern Hemisphere? Us, New Zealand,
South America,
Antarctica,
South America,
Madagascar.
Africa.
Why are you discounting my point? Why are you siding with the Fox?
I mean, my point is just put. Just put quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Some people do that anyway. Anyway, next quick story. So, next year's Game of the Year, Elden Ring, has been delayed to February 25th, 2022.
I give you head pats.
They have, however, announced a network test. You can go register for it. I believe that will be live at certain time periods in November if you get selected to do it. If you get selected for it and I don't, I will come and slap you.
If you get selected,
or
you
maybe
get to
I should just register for it. We should all just register for it. So if we get it and you don't, I can give you my key or whatever.
And it is on like consoles only at the moment. I believe it's not a PC test, because it's a stress test for their servers for, like, you know, their pseudo co-op PvP stuff.
If you get in,
but you get to play the game. So
if you get in, you get to watch a Zoom call where they show the like someone clicks on the speed testing and you watch the.
I mean, sure.
Very exciting.
Frequently enough here. The last quick story
I didn't
is
give a shit about this. Bye.
Uncharted movie trailer got released, and I made a point of wasting 3 minutes watching it today.
I was bored.
It's like 2 minutes long, but I was interrupted in the middle of it. So I had to
by the way, other thing that's way more fun and way more interesting. There was 30 minutes of the fucking Guardians of the Galaxy, and it looks good, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah,
of the movie?
That one.
Yes, of the movie. No, of the game. Okay.
Anyway, the Uncharted movie certainly looked like a movie with Mark Wahlberg and Tom, what's his face, Spider-Man.
How dare you?
What?
Tom Holland.
That's it. I legitimately lost his surname, that's why I said Mr. Spider-Man.
Wasn't there a trailer for the Suicide Squad going into the Avengers as well?
Those are in 2 different camps completely. Like, there's Marvel and DC.
But we're talking about release trailers that I've seen. That's another one that I've seen.
But
anyway,
it look weird.
Anyway, I'm still confused by like Tom Holland being Nathan Drake, because he just doesn't quite seem right. But also, I've only played one of the.
He seems like too much of a small boy.
I've played 2 of the Uncharted games.
He needs a bit more gristle.
And I only finished, I played a little bit of Uncharted 1, and then I played a part of the remastered version and didn't like it again, and I played and finished the Vita version.
Yeah. I gotta say,
I had nothing else to play on the Vita.
I gotta say, in terms of like actors maybe not being great for characters, trailers, this sounds a lot more antagonistic than I thought it was going to be. No, fuck off. They released they did all the DC stuff, and there was like a release of the Batman trailer. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, like, it is like seems a bit too grim dark, but in terms of like Robert Pattinson as the Batman, it's like not bad.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
All right.
I mean, grim dark Batman, grim dark. I mean, come on.
Next.
All right, let's go to the naughty corner.
Yeah, what is this bullshit?
Blue box.
Here we go.
Blue box.
Want to explain this one from the top?
Oh my god! I go watch all the episodes that we've ever put out.
The short version is Blue Box is the one that people were alleging is going to be making a Silent Hill game.
Yeah.
And then they were
Silent
repeatedly
Hill with Kojima.
And they were repeatedly like, well, no, they didn't say that. Like, they kind of...
They said they weren't. Other people were saying
yeah, even though they fucking did some ARG shit. So people are like... And generally, by the looks of things, they're kind of doing, like, underhanded shit, you know, to kind of, like, drum up hype that for games that don't necessarily deserve it. But as much as we fucking hate what they do, We have to fucking say this again. They don't fucking deserve death threats. To just fucking stop doing it. It's dumb. I hate it. I just fuck it.
Just why?
Just stop. Just stop. We've got I think we've got a really positive story actually, because Blizzard have actually managed to eradicate all sexual crimes of all nature in every avenue of society. They've done it. They've done it, guys. They've removed all misogyny and everything from the world. Very good. I don't know why
we're clapping.
I'm not.
Yeah,
you're clapping to make my edit job harder. That's why.
Because they changed McCree's name to Cole Cassidy, and now all sex crime is gone. All is forgiven. We have gone back into the loving embrace of Jesus or something. I also love that Cole Cassidy is like literally like the most generic possible name I've ever heard. Hello, I'm Sheriff Mick Texas Ranger. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it's a good thing that they've removed the reference to Slimeball from Blizzard in the game and all that kind of stuff. But like, if they don't do anything proper to weed out the problem, then you know.
Yeah.
At least point out Cassidy Cole is a porn actress, isn't he? Apparently.
I loved the
That's fun. Thank you, Lee.
I loved the tweet out there, you know. Blizzard, stop sexually assaulting your employees. Yes, I will edit this painting and wow, another win for emancipation. That's not what... Good point! We shall also remove this emote. Please, just stop the raping. You know what? It's time the Cowboy got a new name.
Yep. That said, I do want to bring this one up because I did find this out today. Blizzard did actually have fired 20 employees over the harassment claims.
I'm sorry. That's fake news. That's fake news.
Is it? Because it's come from The Guardian.
No. I think you'll find that 20 employees have exited Blizzard. There have been no firings or resignations. They have
Quoting this article, the company declined to name any of the 20 individuals who have been dismissed. In those words.
Okay. I don't think you quite understand where I'm coming from. Blizzard said that 20 people exited. Blizzard at no point said that they fired 20 people. They exited. Completely different fake news.
Wow.
I'm confused. Regardless, they're gone.
What I'm saying is fucking Blizzard said that they exited. They didn't say anything about firing, as if to imply that, you know, none of the employees did anything wrong, and they were just like, oh, all of a sudden I feel like leaving for some reason.
Okay. Well, the article I've read is wrong then, because they said they've been dismissed in those reasons. So
I mean, people have been pointing basically to say that, you know, with all the shit that's going on, and, you know, let's be real, a possibility that shit is moving in the direction of, you know,
I mean, also it was none of the people at the top, or like it was like 20 randos, right? Like, remember that we're seeing that this was a thing from the top down, not just the people at the bottom, and so it's the people at the bottom being thrown out, who they should be, but as well, sure, but like the seniors and board members who are perpetuating this behavior should too. So it's kind of a thing. Anyway, let's move on to...
So Sony made a patent for spectators being able to vote or pay to kick players from games, which might be shitty.
What the fuck?
I can see this working in very, very limited contexts. But generally, I'm just like, this is a bit weird.
Yeah, but like,
excuse me?
Like, what?
I'm
popping
it's a choice.
Article open just so I've got a thing. The player will need to receive at least 60% of all votes, with a patent pointing out that they could be assigned to another match once removed. The process would be similar to one of benching a player in sports games, and that wouldn't. You're voting to kick them from a fucking game, and it's someone who's not even playing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the kind of thing that as I said, I can see it working in very limited context, but even then, I think it would still kind of suck for people getting kicked out. Like, it could be
mob rules.
Griefing. Yeah, well, I mean,
that's how democracy works.
I have found a quote from Sony in this article that you linked.
That's how.
So here's a quote from Sony in the article that you linked in the doc, Sam.
Yeah.
So they say online platforms such as, for example, Twitch, have made it possible for spectators to stream live and recorded video of top video games and electronic sports events. As more and more people have become interested in watching video games and esports events, game developers have sought to enhance the viewing experience by providing increased functionality and interactivity for spectators. And that was like they're writing for the starting point. I don't think this is an improvement though. Like yeeting people from the game. Come on.
Oh, well, what the hell is going on?
What the fuck is that? Goodbye.
Epic Man the Funny. I don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah, nice.
My chat previous player here was a nice guy, so I'm curious about what the hell's going on there.
He may have been taken over.
He'd become one of them. Anyway,
that looked very botty. Anyway,
and also on the topic of online stuff, FIFA's fucking been dealing with some weird cheating shit. Like a bunch of people got suspended for an exploit that just like lets you win, which is weird.
When you say that, is like, is it just when the game ends, it marks you as a winner,
no,
whether you won or lost, or?
So what I read of it was essentially like if you quit out of the game and go to like the home screen and just wait for like when the match would naturally end, you just win. I don't know how the fuck that works. And there was another one which also pissed me the fuck off, which is another kind of exploit of you can kind of like change the pitch line and the mowing pattern of certain things to make it hard to see. And admittedly, when I first heard the story, I was just like, oh, it's for people with like visual kind of impairment. But like I actually looked at these and they're like pretty fucking hard to see where the lines are. And when you're playing a game like football, it's important to know if you're about to, you know, fucking run out of the field or whatever. So that's weird and disconcerting and stupid that's the thing, because like you can adjust them for just the opposition, so you can have everything look normal and just have like, you know, their pitch lines be green to just camouflage in with the like pitch. It's just dumb and I hate it. And
I get having like your field being customizable and stuff, you know, give you something that to make yours in that game, but like it look different for the other player.
Yeah, apparently they're going to fix that though. But yeah, it's just like, what the fuck are they doing?
I mean, then again, if they're exploits, then that's less of someone hacking it more. Like, there's a bug we found and it's, you know, it's what am I looking for?
Really,
it's a bug we found that we can
play
use
eFootball.
Play eFootball with PS2 graphics. Yeah, just play Behold the Kickman. Like $3 on Steam last I checked, you know, it's the dumbest soccer game on the planet. It doesn't follow soccer rules at all. Say it's a soccer game made by someone who's never played or seen soccer be played.
Perfect.
Could you imagine somebody making a game of chess, like a chess game, with never knowing what the pieces do or how it works?
That happened. They made a board game of Queen's Gambit. And has like cards and shit.
I'm still so mad at that. Like, what is the fucking point of that?
I don't know.
Why don't you just like, you know, have a very dark room with like a single light bulb and a camera and like a chessboard, and you go and then just do that for an hour or something, and then I don't know,
then
go back to your day job or something.
I don't know where you're going.
Speaking of people who need a day job, so there's been a whole heap of shit going on with Netflix about the Dave Chappelle special.
Have you looked into this? Because I vaguely looked into it, and I'm just like, I don't know the answers to this.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of the employees walked out and protested outside of Netflix. Apparently, there's about 100 people, and the staff outnumbered general public, protesting about their employers deciding that this was okay and to keep it up. Apparently...
what counter protest shit?
Yeah, apparently in the past they've been able to... I think they got Cuties pulled down after protesting, which was a highly sexualized show about 13-year-old girls.
That's a choice.
I heard about that one. Yeah, I think it was. Interestingly, the thing I heard that movie wasn't as sexualized as it sounded. It's just that the promo for that in the West was highly sexualized, weirdly.
Yeah.
But again, this is just Twitter shit that I'm seeing, so I don't have specifics.
Yeah. So
Not fully across.
If you're not sure, apparently, I actually haven't watched it because I choose not to, because everyone's like, oh, if you're gonna be offended by it, don't watch it. And it's not a matter of being offended by it, it's being another viewer. It's telling Netflix somebody else wanted to watch it and to bump their numbers up. And it's not about being offended, it's about perpetrating hate. So Dave Chappelle has some really gross comments about transgender people. And it's funny because a lot of the time Dave Chappelle's been known to call out other comedians about punching down for comedy. You know, you can have good comedy without the need of punching down on people. And 100% this is what he's doing now. So the CEO's been flip-flopping like, oh, you know, we need to allow for free speech, and Netflix is supposed to be for everybody of all what does he say?
Viewpoints.
It's supposed to be for all viewpoints. And it's like, it's not a viewpoint, it's perpetrating hate. pure and simple. There's a quote from somebody who was protesting a parent of an 8-year-old transgender son. He said, there's a lot of freedom of speech, but you don't have to be mean while you make jokes. I think Dave Chappelle, a funny person, needs to understand a little more about the joke he's making and how they actually affect people.
Yeah. And there's also that great comment from Hannah Gadsby about it when they're like, you know, oh, we're proud to have these, you know, like the Netflix people like, yeah, we have all these, you know, diverse comedians, you know, Hannah Gadsby, Dave Chappelle, etc., etc. And she's like, don't talk about me in the same sentence with him.
Yeah.
I'll pull up the quote because it was amazing.
Yeah.
Bear with me a moment while I find it. I know it landed in our Discord somewhere.
I mean, I don't know enough about like the specifics of it to kind of weigh in too much. Like I've heard, you know, like, oh, it's actually about, you know, his friend or whatever, and they were fine with it or something. But it's just like, I don't know. I suppose like the thing is like, while I'm fine with like jokes, I don't know if it is punching down or not, and and I think, you know, someone getting immediately like super defensive about it does always like raise an alarm bell or two. I don't know.
Here we go. Hannah Gadsby's comment on Instagram. Hey, Ted Sarandos, just a quick note to let you know that I'd prefer if you didn't drag my name into your mess. Now I have to deal with even more of the hate and anger that Dave Chappelle's fans like to unleash on me every time Dave gets $20 million to process his emotionally stunted partial worldview.
Oh.
You didn't pay me nearly enough to deal with the real-world consequences of the hate speech dog whistling you refuse to acknowledge, Ted. Fuck you and your amoral algorithm cult. I do shits with more backbone than you. That's just a joke. That's just a joke. I definitely didn't cross a line because you just told the world there isn't one.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
I like them.
Yeah. I mean, that can be a good trans comedy because, you know, look up Cassie Workman. Also, you can have tons of good trans comedy. Let me give an example. Knock Knock.
Who's there?
Trans
who?
Atlantic. That's a thing that starts with trans. Haha, comedy gold. Eat shit, transphobes.
Well done. There was also, I think James Acaster did a segment about people making jokes about people, you know, punching down on transphobes.
Shit given to them, blah, blah, yeah, whatever it was.
Yeah, it's like, because those who need to be taken down, because the trans community totally needs to be taken down a peg. Like,
perfect. Good work.
Yeah. There was I think Nish Kumar did a bit too, but I cannot remember that one. Anyway, long story short, Dave Chappelle's a poopy head.
Is that racist?
I don't know. I mean, he has shit opinions. How's that?
Oh, boom roasted.
Yeah.
What do you
want?
Not as shit as Candace Owens.
Just in like just the tiny bit that I've seen, his punchline is to explicitly misgender somebody.
Ah, classic.
Because that's funny.
Ha! Look, I said the wrong thing and you did not expect it. Very good. Ha ha.
But we
Fucking
do
Christ,
expect it
that's
from
sad.
Games.
Video games. I played video games. You played video games. You also played video games. Who wants to talk about a video game they played?
Video games. I don't know who wants to go. You go first.
You want me to go first? All right,
well, you could either.
I'll talk about the least video game I played this week then.
Yeah.
I played Ring Fit Adventure.
You work your core.
I still have not done.
It worked. It worked my core, that's for sure. My God, I've only done 2 sessions with it. I've done this before in the past. I've returned to it because I am an overweight bugger who needs to get back into something resembling fitness. And basically, it kicks your ass. So it is. You get a ring device thing. You plug in one of the Joy-Cons.
You take it on an adventure to get fit.
Yeah, pretty much. You put one of your Joy-Cons into that. You put the other one in like this Velcro thing that wraps around your leg. So it kind of detects when you're running. And when you're doing like the adventure mode, you basically have to jog on the spot down, and it puts your character who runs in like time with you kind of thing. And then when you get into RPG battles, turn-based RPG battles, to make your attacks, you have to do exercises. And those exercises involve a lot of squats. There are a lot of squats. My legs hurt so fucking much. That's kind of the short version. They also have like, casual side modes and all that kind of stuff. They have a mode for if your knees aren't good, or if you're in an apartment complex like me, you can have like a quiet mode. So instead of jogging on the spot, you do like mini squats instead of jogging on the spot. We have solid floors here, so I jog on the spot anyway. Deal with it downstairs. I have to deal with your noise all the time.
The question is it a game and is it fun?
It is a game wrapped in exercise.
So it's not fun.
That's where the question mark lies. The problem is it is exercise. So you are having a workout. It is a workout. However, it is a video game as well, and you do have to make like strategic choices when you are in your battles, because you have types of exercises and you've got types of enemies. So certain exercises will deal more damage to enemies than others will. So you do have to like do your thinking. It's not going to be as super challenging or tactical as something like Persona when you're playing like that kind of turn-based RPG. It's that style of turn-based RPG, but you have one party member.
Go to sleep at any point.
And no, but if you do go too long, the game will go, "Hey, you sure you want to keep going? You probably should stop."
Piece of shit. Let's do this.
The game is very careful about trying to make sure your form is correct, or at least good, so you don't hurt yourself, and B, making sure you don't overwork yourself as well. So that's fun. But also, it also makes sure you're not doing too little, because when you do a squat, if you don't go deep enough, it won't register as an attack, and you've got to squat down, and you've got to hold that spot for a few seconds while it charges up the attack, and then when you stand up, then the attack gets fired off, and you've got to. And the difficulty level is the difficulty level affects how many reps you have to do per set.
Fair enough. So you think they've successfully gamified exercise?
I think they've gamified it about as successfully as you can. You could probably make it a bit more of a hardcore game, a bit more fun. It is very much leaning into the you're fit, you're doing well, you're going to get stronger, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Like, for me, the ultimate gamification of exercise is to make me completely forget that I'm doing exercise. Right? But that on its own, and that's why something like Beat Saber or Pistol Whip or something appeals to me, because I am moving, but I'm playing a video game, and it's not about the movement, it's about the video game. This one, it's about the exercises. Like, the attacks are, you're doing squats, it's an exercise. You're doing stuff with the ring thing, which has a bit of resistance. So, you are actually working your muscles. Yeah. You are doing yoga poses. You are doing, leg extensions, like you lie down and pull your knees in and then extend them and pull your knees in. So you are working your core, you are working your glutes, you are working your body, and if you do it enough, and I've seen plenty of reports of this, that you will actually build up muscle and get more fit. It won't be as good as going to the gym regularly, but it's better than doing literally nothing, And it can get people into a routine. It's like, hey, if I go to the gym, I won't completely suck when I first go there. I'll have a baseline of fitness.
Yeah.
So, it's worth doing.
Awesome.
Very good.
It's good to hear, friend.
I've only managed to do 2 sessions this week, and they were about 10 minutes each in terms of, they actually have a timer, and it counts only the time you're exercising. It doesn't count load times. Or cutscene times for story and when you're in menus and stuff like that. So I was on for about half an hour, but 13 minutes or so was actually exercising.
All right.
So that's the thing. They actually do help differentiate those, which is nice as well. Plus, it teaches you to stretch before and after and shows you stretches to do.
Oh.
Important.
Japan's so good with that. Because there's a new one coming out too.
Is there?
A new Switch Fit game.
I saw there was a kickboxing guy. So kickboxing one, it seemed to be a bit less connected than Ring Fit because it's just you're holding them and doing martial artsy kind of exercise stuff. But while Ring Fit, because you got the one on your leg, it is making sure that you're squatting far enough before they count it. And when you're doing your running, it'll have bits where your character's trying to run upstairs or through mud, and
so you can't do the Wii boxing shit where you just go
yeah, you can't do that. There's no fake when you're going upstairs or through mud, you have to do high knee runs to kind of run faster, otherwise you just kind of get stuck.
Called Knockout Home Fitness.
Sure. Anything like Knockout City?
It doesn't look like it's an official Nintendo.
Yeah, it's not. It's for the Switch, but it's
cool. Where you played, Mrs. L?
So I played more Yakuza Like a Dragon, and holy heck, they
Do you like it yet, properly yet, or not?
I don't mind the turn-based combat now because I am so invested in the story. I just want to know what happens. And Yakuza just appeals to my silly, chaotic side because it is so silly and chaotic. Being a homeless bum, that my class is bum. Yeah, my class is bum, and some of my moves are like blowing alcohol and blowing fire on them, or throwing beans at them and letting the pigeons come and attack. I recently got a female character, and she's got like a kickboxing. She's like, says like, use your kickboxing training to punch them. And so she does her cute little, like, if she was in a kickboxing class and punching. And then she's got a handbag slam where she like whacks him over the head with her handbag.
Classic.
And I picked up a giant fucking vibrator as a weapon for the main character because one of the weapon shop was Love Magic, and it was it was a sex store, and it had all the weapons and armor. So I was just like, it was like, whips, you could pick up this giant fucking vibrator. So he just
explode them.
He just bashes them with this fucking giant thing. It's great. I've been sidetracked by side quest, as you do, finding fucking somebody's pet crayfish that I accidentally threw into the water, and so I had to go find his pet crayfish. There's a weird man that was pissing in the river, so I've got to try and find the guy who's pissing in the river. Right. There's a lot of really cool stuff happening. Yeah, I think I've spent a little bit more time than I should. I should be further along in the game for the amount of time I've fucked around with it, but I'm enjoying it. You know?
Yeah.
It's okay. So yes, I look forward to finishing this one. It's on my list of games to actually finish.
Do you think you're going to finish it anytime soon?
It's only supposed to be like a 10-hour game. Oops.
Yakuza? So usually 10 hours?
Not meant to be too long. Anyway.
Okay.
What else?
What about your Siamese?
I mean, the only new thing that I played this week was the Forgotten City. I've only played 2.5 hours. I'm having a pretty good time with it. It's one of those things where I'm like nervous as to whether it's going to end up being really good, but also in a very kind of Life is Strange kind of way. because I'm kind of like, it's probably going to be good because like the writing's fairly solid and hilariously dumb at times. I've had a conversation with a high priestess of Vesta about memes, so that's fun. So for those of you who don't know, the Forgotten City actually it won a fucking like award at the AGDAs for like, you know, best narrative or whatever. So that's cool. It is like you stumble across like an underground city, like with like ancient Roman ruins and stuff, and you travel back in time to the Roman times. And you know, you enter the Forgotten City, which is a place where there is only one rule, which is that the many will suffer for the sins of the one. What's a sin? Well, you can't do killing or stealing or some other things. So if you think about it, it's actually not one rule. It's one punishment with lots of little sub rules.
It's the golden rule, right?
Yeah.
Is this someone that was a Skyrim mod?
Yeah. And they made it into a full one over a couple of years. So, you know, there's lots of little mysteries about like what counts as a sin. I mean, I've already discovered some pretty fucking heinous shit that doesn't technically count as a sin, which I'm not pleased about. I
was there for the unfortunate suicide.
Well, there's that. Yeah, there's a suicide. I wasn't going to spoil it. Yeah, but basically, you know, like, you know, tricking someone into slavery doesn't count as a sin. It's like, okay, that's a little bit wild to me, but sure. And yeah, like I'm kind of at this stage where like I'm discovering a lot of threads and not really resolving tons of them, which I don't love because it kind of just means like I've got like these 8 different things to do and I don't know what to start on first. I found the fucking suicide guy that I'm like, I think I have to like find like fucking $2,000 to keep him from committing suicide, which is just like, well, that seems a little bit unfair. Then I have to do that. But yeah, I mean, there's lots of cool little things. As I said, I think the writing's fairly nice. And it's definitely got some very interesting philosophical questions about, you know, like what counts as a sin kind of thing. Yeah, and it's kind of cool. And once again, I got to talk to, you know, the high priestess about memes, which is great. Yeah. Just like, why did you think that this person had an unfortunate name? It's just like, well, Karen's a meme thing. And yeah, you know, very self-aware of just like, oh, I don't want to tell you my name. It's like, why? It's like, it's Karen. Yeah. Very dumb. Yeah, I'm interested, and I think I'm only really gonna know how much I like it when I'm like at the end, probably. So, woo! Check me out on Twitch while I play it. You've been playing much of other stuff?
I played a video game called Into the Pit. I really liked Into the Pit. So, we talked about this briefly a few weeks ago when they had a demo in the Steam Next, but it came out for realsies this week. It is on Game Pass if you are even remotely interested. I paid for it on Steam because, A, I wasn't sure if my save would be transferred if it leaves Thingo McFingerson, and B, I just wanted to support
buy
them.
it on like the Xbox store if that came.
You can, but also most of the time I forget that the Xbox store exists for things outside of
Game Pass.
For outside of Game Pass. So you know, but also I wanted to support the devs more because I really enjoyed what I played in the demo, and I'm pleased to say playing the four. Here's the thing: I think my fears were unfounded because it pulled my save file from the demo. Which is fun, which I immediately cleared and restarted because I just wanted to start over fresh. Anyways, so Into the Pit. I'm having a good time with it. But you go into a village. You're basically your cousin has disappeared. So you go to the last village you saw, and like you saw that he, she, they. I'm not sure. It's just got a name. Anyway, so you go there, you find that a lot of villagers and their aldermen have gone down into a pit beneath the town. And basically just like into the pit beneath the town, demon realms and stuff. And so you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go and
into
look
the
for
pit.
her. I'm going to go into the pit and look for her. And pretty much everyone in town is like, well, I'm not going to help you unless you can rescue X amount of villagers.
Wow.
So it's like, okay.
Right.
And so it's a roguelike first-person shooter where you're a wizard.
Spells.
Where you're a wizard.
Hmm.
Anyway.
I'm a wizard!
Anyway. So, you go downstairs. You go into the pit. You go into you basically you open a rift with a key and you take a bunch of runes, so like defensive and prepared and stuff like that stuff. And then you go in and fight demons. Collect motes, which are basically like your upgrade materials as well. You've got permanent ones, you've got temporary ones. You get power upgrades as you complete chambers, and you try to rescue villagers, which are part of your more permanent upgrades too. So you get upgrades yourself by collecting. There are 6 kinds of motes you can collect. 3 of them are temporary, so when you end a run, they're gone. The other 3 are permanent, but you use those in the village to upgrade your runes, unlock new keys, the keys will be used with your ritual to open a different section of the pit. So basically, other realms, and pay for that kind of stuff as well. So you need to. When you rescue enough villagers, you unlock more upgrades, and then you use those permanent motes with those upgrades, like to actually unlock, to keep those upgrades. That doesn't make sense. It's like expanding you expand the shops by rescuing villagers, and then you buy shit from the shops with the motes you get from the pit. Yes. Cool. So the fun one there is it's got like a super lo-fi filter over the top. It looks like you're playing something from like the 90s or something, like super low fit. You can turn that off. That wasn't in the demo and it wasn't there on launch. At least I couldn't find it on launch. I think they added it as an option. I have turned it off because I'm playing on a big 4K monitor and it was making my eyes go funny.
Does it look good under that though?
Under that, it looks good. When you turn it off, it looks a bit less good because it's got your regular crisp stuff, but they designed the game to be played on the filter, right? So it's like they didn't go as detailed as they needed to. Anyway, when you're actually in action, first person old school Quake Doomsoul, very fast. Very fast. Thank you for pointing that out, Lee. It is, it's very quick. It does get repetitive in the roguelike sense, but you unlock a lot more as you kind of keep going. When you unlock more keys to kind of open up other sections of the pit, you get to go to those sections, but you can also do combination rituals so that you can kind of make sections that are of the two. Combined. So you then have the enemies from both sections, traps and stuff from both sections, and you kind of have to deal with, like a double up. So that's kind of, there's this, there's potential for some really interesting stuff there. And so I've completed 2 whole sections, and I nearly completed the first, I got to the boss of the first combined section that you can unlock. Nice. I'm having a good time with it. I kind of got obsessed. I played it this morning and I'll play for an hour before jumping onto Final Fantasy. 3 hours later, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to eat. I'm hungry. So that happened. There's some fun designs. There's lots of poisons and things, lots of wild different upgrades. I recommend giving it a go. It's a lot of fun. It does get a bit repetitive, but also like that's kind of roguelikes in a nutshell. It's more repetitive than like Hades or something. But also it's I love it. It's good.
Into the pit.
It's a very, very me game.
As you get.
Not quite. The only me you can get is Souls-like roguelike.
Yeah, true.
Which FromSoft attempted. There's Chalice dungeons in Bloodborne which are roguelike, but they weren't very good. There was an indie roguelike Souls-like I played that was okay. That's what I found.
Sure. Well, another me like speaking of me games, you games and me games and our games. I played the Rift Breaker.
I thought this would be a you game because I really hated it. I played it and gone, I can't do this, but Mrs. L would.
Yeah, so so the Rift Breaker is like tower. What do they call it themselves? A tower defense city builder. Well, not even a city builder, but a base building game, like Red Alert, I guess. And you got to defend your base. And then you have hordes of alien species coming, enemies coming, and you got a lot of resource management. And I think originally going into this game, I took all of my knowledge from every other game like this I've played, and I failed.
Well,
because you run out of resources so quickly, you can't just box yourself in and have a singular base structure. You need to have multiple bases all around the map to get all the resources. What I don't mind, this game allows you to sell things. Once the resource area is depleted, like you've got your iron ore or whatever, once you've depleted the area, you can sell everything off and then move it to somewhere else. So I don't mind that. I think because this game only released a few days ago, it is on Xbox Game Pass if you want to give it a try. The resource, how do you explain this? It's not, hi honey, it's not 100%.
What the hell is happening?
What's going on there?
Are you alright?
Dinosaur box set?
It's very cool. He's making a bunny cosplay for Halloween.
Oh my god.
It's kind of blurred from the camera stuff.
And I quickly do on two eyes and a nose.
Okay, buddy. Thank you. Sorry. Cut that out.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, so the numbering they have on resources is so out. Like, I started again, and I shit you not, I'm only on like day 4 of the game, because it does day-night cycles. I'm only on day 4 and I already have 30 wind turbines. And I still don't have enough power for the meager tier 1 buildings that I have to power. And then I added some other like more toxic ones, like coal ones, and I still don't have enough power. So if that's for the tier 1 buildings, how much power? I'm gonna have to have like 60 to 80 coal generators just to have enough. It's just ridiculously large amounts of resources you need to power. And I just, yeah, that's the one thing I'm not having fun with at the moment, is the numbers don't add up properly. That's about it. Like,
maybe that's
apart
why
from that,
one of the reasons I got the shits with it so quickly.
Yeah.
One of the many, many reasons.
You can usually build something, it generates enough energy, and at the end maybe you've got 20
I think so, wouldn't you?
But having to have so many, it's just stupid. Yeah. And as Lee said, they do have like this back and forth, like, because you play a female character, Ashley, and Mr. Riggs is like the AI, and they're like, we got to do it like the simulation, and this is all the things we have to do, and we're like, oh yes, but we don't want to ruin the environment. We should be able to live in peace with this new planet.
Good luck.
She says as she destroys forest after forest to get enough fucking biofuel to keep fueling the stuff and drilling all the resources out of the ground.
Something dissonance.
And I'm just like, this is stupid. So I hope they patch it and fix it soon. But apart from that, that's my only negative. So it's good. Everyone's so quiet.
Cool.
Everyone's like crickets.
I'm doing a cryptic crossword.
I just didn't like the game.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I just have nothing to say about that kind of game. Like, I'm just like, it looks like some StarCraft shit, and now I'm good. I'm next, Donna. What did I play? I've been playing a bunch of Great Ace Attorney, the second one. I'm almost done.
Great Ace Attorney, the second one.
I'm almost done with KS3, and I wanted to finish it before I came on. It's interesting. The second one is like, I don't think it's as good at onboarding, but also like there's less onboarding, but there's a lot more like conspiracy shit. Like literally the first case is already like, oh, by the way, the victim in this one is the person who did the murdering in the first case of the last one. So it's just like it's all connected, kind of like, whoa, okay.
Okay.
And they've straight up been like, oh, that person who like, you know, was your friend and the thing happened to him. Also, maybe this person is this other person, and you know, everyone's talking about Pandora's boxes and shit. And like, okay, this is like a lot of shit going on. Like literally the second case is like, the second case is kind of hilarious because it's literally like the third case, the person who got off in the fourth case of the first game is like brought back in again for the second one. And because of the way that they time it, they're basically like, oh my God, you got off, you're free. Isn't this great? And then literally 2 days later, he's back in court. It's like, God, you know, he's like the Larry Butts of this one. He's very upset about, you know, how people don't like him. And he does a lot of like Sailor Moon ass shit all the time.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're trying to be like, he's Japanese, did you know? So yeah, it's very interesting to see how all of it is connected. I think it is noteworthy that this is probably the least amount of time that I've had between two times of me playing an Ace Attorney game. So I'm very kind of like, oh yeah, I kind of see like where there's some fucking issues in this game. There are a couple of great moments. There was one where I presented a piece of evidence, and they were like, no, this is absolutely not correct. So eventually I just looked it up, and it's like, oh, you have to examine these first to then present them. And that might seem like, oh, well, you know, obviously that makes sense. The problem is that I had examined them like in a previous section of the story, but they were just like, well, that didn't count. And it's like, okay, that's dumb. In another more noteworthy one that's more recent, you know, they were like, where could this person have possibly fallen from? And I presented like a photograph of a certain place that kind of, you know, indicates how, I'm trying to keep it vague so there's no spoilers.
Yeah.
And they were like, absolutely not, terrible, incorrect. So I had to present a diagram, you know, to be like, oh, let me point to you where it is on the diagram. And then the person's like, well, there's absolutely no evidence that this actually happened, though. To which my character presents the photo that I'd earlier presented. So I'm like, oh, okay. So you get to do that. That's your contribution, not me. It's like, okay. I'm a little bit annoyed at how this game seemingly could like so easily just go, yeah, makes sense. Yeah. I can follow the logic of that. And instead they were like, nah, don't feel it. Nah. Like it's a little bit fucking narrow-minded when it comes to shit like that, which I find a little bit annoying. So
yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
It seems like, at least to me, that like the Ace Attorney games are great, and while they have their issues where, you know, you've got to specifically follow the one path the devs set.
Yeah.
But like you probably need a break between games too. Right, so going right from one to another. It's like, no, it's kind of the first one out says it's welcome, and then you start another one.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've had a little bit, like I've had like maybe a month or so, but you know, I'm used to like having like multiple years of gap between
you gotta
like,
wait
playing
between
one to the other one.
One comes out, play it, finish it. Next one comes out years later because they're busy building it.
There are so many great. I mean, at the risk of being slightly spoilery, there was one where like we walk into a room, and this shows us fucking how genius Sherlock Holmes is. Sherlock Holmes, who the fuck is that even? Where we walk into a room of like, you know, a person who seemingly just like, you know, quickly scurried and ran out, and there's like a giant time bomb in the center. It's like, actually, if you look around yourself, like all the furniture is upside down. So clearly this is not a time bomb. This is an anti-gravity device. Let me explain to you how this is clearly an anti-gravity device. And you end up doing the whole correction thing where you go through and be like, okay, yeah, this is really fucking stupid. And then at the end, you find the guy, and it's like, oh, so you didn't defuse the bomb? It's like, bomb? And everyone like looks at the thing and like, oh yeah, we kind of forgot about that. We kind of forgot that we proved that isn't an anti-gravity device.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Should we defuse that? And then like it looks like, oh yeah, I got it done. Like there was only 7 seconds left, but whatever. Sorry about that. It's like, fucking Christ, fucking idiot. Yeah, so I don't know. I will say though, I'm really like, okay, I want to see what these fucking revelations are tantalizing me with. Anyway.
Well, that's the thing, right? They get their hooks into you with, hey, this is a cool thing coming up, and then you've got to play it and get
Damn it, now I'm invested.
How did it? I mean, that's how Yakuza Like a Dragon got Mrs. L, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't like the combat
story.
thing, but now I care about Ichiban. I've got it installed. I haven't played it yet.
You're going to talk about Final Fantasy again?
I'll talk a little bit about Final Fantasy. The thing is, because Final Fantasy 14 has got its hooks into me deep, and Endwalker's just shy of a month away now at this point.
The story.
Oh, I ran out of story. I'm up to date already. I've been up to date for a bit. When I said I finished the main story quest like a week or two ago, I meant it. You're saying, Mrs. L? Sorry?
I just feel bad because I kind of like, I don't know what to do in it anymore.
I'm starting to hit that point, but also I'm starting to hit that point, but I've also, like, that might be one of the reasons I'm loving Into the Pit so much too, right? Because it's a nice break from the game that's become my main obsession. But I've also got a bunch of other things I'm trying to do, right? I'm in the process of working on leveling all of my crafters and all of my gatherers to level 80. Just yesterday, I got my second combat character to level 80, so now I have an 80 Astrologian is my main, and I got my red range to 80 yesterday. I've almost finished making the fully upgraded version of my Astrologian relic weapon from the Shadowbringers section, so I almost have the strongest weapon in the game in Astrologian, just in time for it to be superseded by gear in the expansion.
Yeah, that's why I'm not bothering with that.
But also I wanted to do it, like, I wanted to experience the content, but also keep in mind, I am still very slowly working on my grind on get every single triple triad card. And that relic quest, you've got to go into Buncha, which is like a late game area, which has a card in it, which you have to spend. I have the card now. I've got to go back and do Eureka because there's cards in there too. I've got to go back and do Blue Mage progression because there's cards in that. There's cards everywhere. Like the card grind forces you to do a bit of everything in the game. So that's fun. But there's also the card thing. I'm doing my crafting. So my botanist is level 70 something now. My culinarian is level 70 something now. I've had a level 80 alchemist for a little while. I finished maxing out my dwarf reputation, so I got to build a tank as a mount, and now I can ride around in my tank and shoot lasers at people. There's just so much damn shit to do in this game, and so much more. So, yeah, that's a whole thing. I'm still working on it. Also, I've figured out / learned where to get the mount, which is just a gorilla that carries you in its arms softly and gently, and it is a crafting one, and I'm like, that's my next mount grind, because it's a good place to level your crafters at too. So I'm like, I'm doing this. I'm gonna get the gorilla. It's gonna be great. It's like literally just a giant freaking gorilla carries you in its arms as a mount. It's amazing. And stupid. I love this game.
It's a good game.
It's good. It's good.
Sure.
Anyway, yes, and Walker in a bit less than a month, and then I think the first patch after that is when they said we're going to get Oceanic servers, so we're going to have to transfer over to Aussie servers so we can play with a decent lag rate rather than this half a second bullshit where you get caught by every AoE in existence. And suddenly we've got to feel like we're really bloody good at the game because we've had to predict every AoE landing by a solid half second, right? When we play at a decent ping rate, we'd be like, oh my god, we're dodging everything.
Oh my goodness.
Also, I've been working on the Buy a House fund for when we do transfer servers. So, because none of you can stop me buying a house in Ishgard. Also known as Dark Souls Land. Anyway. Subnautica said?
Yeah,
Unless Mrs. L had a different thing, sorry, but
What?
No.
unless Mrs. L anything else, yeah.
Okay,
Right,
cool. Yeah, I'll just quickly say, like, playing more Subnautica, I'm kind of getting across it a little bit better. I will say I'm really fucking pissed off that, and no point in any of the walkthroughs did the fucking thing tell me that if you get like a, what was it, fucking like mineral detector, it also includes like fucking like scraps and stuff that you can scan to actually get the info that you need. It's like, oh cool, if I knew that, I could have just like gotten through shit so much easier. So hopefully things are going to be moving in the right direction. I mean, I kept dying and I hate it, but whatever.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatevs.
Fair enough. Anyone else? Sorry, Liz is going. Let me know which side you go to in Oceanic so I can pick a different one. GG.
Harsh.
Yeah, harsh. Alright, does anyone else have any games they want to talk about, or shall we go to our final segment? Why is this a thing, or several things, or other things and stuff? I have one.
I have two.
I have a number.
What is that number? Is that number larger than 1 or 2?
Yes.
Then you go first, then we can try and interleave them.
Okay, sure. You can play Doom on Twitter now. That's just a thing.
You play Doom on Twitter now? I mean,
that's a
go.
thing,
What?
apparently. I don't know why.
How?
Also, what the hell? I don't know
why.
I've got an onion on my foot. I'll put the link in one of the chats. I'll put it in my chat so then people can maybe come over to my chat.
GG. We'll also put it in the show notes for the posts.
Perfect. Yeah, you can play Doom on Twitter. Like, it's essentially like a text adventure version of Doom.
That's amazing.
Where you just like tweet at a bot or something and you do the Doom.
Okay, that's cool.
Yep.
You do the Doom, I do the Doom.
Yeah, so it's essentially like a Twitch plays Pokemon kind of version of Doom.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting shit. What else you got?
Yeah, so
to check out the link.
I have found something that I don't even know how to go into this. It's just a fucking prosthetic arm that people are selling for COVID vaccinations. That you wear it on your jacket.
I've
no,
don't
tell me that shit. My anxiety about COVID's already through the fucking roof.
Yeah, it's just like
so people.
Why?
Do they literally think it's gonna work? That people won't notice that?
I don't know.
Like,
yeah, you'd think a trained nurse would notice that it's not a real arm, right?
You think
curious.
But there's a screenshot on a buy swap sell. It looks like a Facebook thing, prosthetic arm, various skin colors, registered post, $1,500 in Melbourne, Victoria.
That's so fucking dumb. Piss off.
Why is America intelligence invading everyone?
Because they want to free us. From
I don't know if you can see that picture. Can you see that picture?
Yes.
I don't know if you can see
what, when you click the
thing?
Yeah,
it only costs $1,500. Like, okay.
I don't know how to make it funny.
Let's get the chap. It's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's how they get you to join the 5G matrix.
You want the funny one? I did see there was I did see a thing on TikTok where they had just pulled a clip out of Conan O'Brien, a person I don't normally find funny, interviewing what's his name?
Adolf Hitler.
No. It was a comedian, but I also don't find him funny.
Noble.
No. He was in The Mandalorian. He was in The Mandalorian as well.
Giancarlo Esposito.
It's not a comedian. I've forgotten. Bill Nye. Bill Burr. We got there. Bill Burr. Yeah, Bill Burr Baggins. Anyway, and I find his comedy is mostly just yelling, old man yells at cloud kind of stuff. But anyway, he pointed out a thing during this conversation with Conan O'Brien. It's like, yeah, the people who are like conspiracy theory about like, you know, killing people with the jabs and stuff. It's like, but why? Why would they kill the people who are obeying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if there was if your conspiracy theory about people trying trying to kill people with the jab etc. was true, why would they kill the people who listen to them?
Because
Yeah.
it's a
It would be the other way
slow-release
around.
poison.
It's fucking stupid.
They're all dumb.
Anyway,
And
Anyway,
if somebody eats your corpse, then you become poisoned with the vaccine too. I don't know.
mate, what?
I don't know. People are fucking idiots. They'll believe whatever they want to. Hello, my name is Nicki Minaj.
Wait.
My friend from Trinidad totally didn't get an STI. It was the vaccine that made him not have a good time in bed and then call off the wedding. It totally wasn't anything untoward. It was the vaccine.
I don't know what
Trust
the fuck
me.
you're talking about, but I'm gonna
Nicki
segue
Minaj has
from
actually said. minus the STI thing.
I'm gonna segue from that into my why is this a thing because it does
Right.
involve needles.
Good. That's what I like to
But
hear.
it's also related to video games, oddly enough.
Inject yourself with
Star Citizen. No. So Star Citizen is a video game, well, quote unquote video game. I call it a grift. I call it a grift, personally.
Alleged video game.
So Star Citizen, which has test servers, but it's a game that's been in development for 1,000 years at this point.
Not a
People are spending
$10,000s of dollars.
Yep, stupid amounts of real money on stuff that you get in a game that isn't released yet, but they still have test servers where you can do some stuff. Now, Star Citizen also has added a PvP. It has had that in for a little while, apparently. I'll believe it when this game comes out at all.
Sure.
Anyway, PvP is a thing, and they've got sections. They've got sections in Star Citizen where PvP is not allowed. For example, bases, because there's safe havens where you can go and upgrade your spaceship and do all that kind of shit, right? But it's like a shared.
There's no PvP the entire game because it doesn't exist.
It's a shared zone where you can kind of, it's sort of MMO, so you can kind of, wander around, see other players, do the stuff to your spaceship, upgrade your inventory, all that kind of shit. And yeah, I was going to liken it to, Lee's likening Star Citizens to NFTs, which I was also going to do at some point during this spiel.
Yeah. I'm still convinced it's a cult.
I said it's a grift. Anyway.
It's like the Rapture, but in reverse.
Well, in their most recent update in their public test servers, they've added new medical gear.
They added
where
vaccines.
where you can have medical, you can shoot people with drugs to heal them, which immediately means this game gets banned in Australia. But on the fun note, Star Citizen is a game that decides to be completely overcomplicated for no fucking reason.
Great.
So,
awesome.
if you can overdose on healing meds and be knocked unconscious if you jab yourself with it too much, sure.
So I guess that it is getting back into the Australian.
People are griefing each other by shooting each other with healing meds in these safe zones. So that they OD on healing medication and fall unconscious.
Life finds a way.
Why is that a mechanic?
It's so dumb.
I can only assume that that's meant to be a balanced thing so you can't just inject yourself with healing potions forever, right? But that's what cooldowns are for, right? So you can actually fall unconscious. People have been, so people have been, just going into these areas and shooting and you can't prevent someone shooting you with their healing gun, right? Because it's not an attack. It's not a PvP thing. I'm healing you. This is fine. This is completely above board. You can't stop me healing you. So I'm just going to keep healing. So I'm going to keep healing you until you're unconscious.
God, that's so dumb.
And then, but you can also drag people around while they're unconscious and stuff. So people have been knocking people unconscious, dragging them to places, taking their stuff because while they're unconscious, you can steal their shit.
Right.
So people just griefing the fuck out of each other in Star Citizen with
putting them
their
in compromising situations
with their healing needle guns.
Making them look like they did a sex together.
Bloody hell, they did a sex together.
That's a thing. There's also a fucking someone on YouTube named Greasy Khaleesi. What a fucking name. Has put a guide on how to do this. So there's actually a YouTube guide on how to be a medical griefer in Star Citizen.
Guide?
I don't think you need
Point
a guide,
and
but
aim,
probably
click repeatedly.
I assume that the guide is how to do it efficiently.
Okay.
But Yeah, I know, you got to learn your healing rotations and knock out your allies so you can take their shit. Fucking.
Sammy, did you have another one?
This game.
Yeah,
game,
I mean,
this
I got
NFT.
like 2 other ones.
Okay, go for it.
So there's a game called Murder House, which has a really, really just swell looking icon on the Switch store, and people. I think some people have been like petitioning to like have it changed or something because they're just like, no, this is way too creepy. Yeah, Murder House. People are just like, please stop it, please stop it. And like the developers have basically just been like, no, we're gonna keep it as creepy as possible. Fuck you.
VHS era 80s slash.
Beautiful stuff. Yeah, like
it's on Steam as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks creepy as fuck and looks like just
Oh wow!
Real uncomfortable for some people. Little
like,
black-eyed,
like
melty.
One and shit. Fucking hell, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I think there've been some like articles that have been just like, no, keep the creepy thing. You know, in the headlines. Like,
I kind of want this game. I have to buy it.
Yeah,
I could save my game if I had a pencil. That's the first screen. That's a screenshot.
Perfect.
Fair
anyway,
enough.
Anybody else got any stuff?
So, Andrew, I have the perfect place.
It's either ducks or it's gluten something.
No, it's a perfect place in Sydney for you and Shay to go out on a date.
It's ducks.
Brand new.
It's Duck Cafe.
It's called Karen's Diner.
Close enough.
Great burgers and rude service.
Wow,
get ready to live your Karen dreams.
Wow, rude service place.
Wait, so it's a rude service place where like they're acting like Karens, or you get to act like a Karen towards them?
Both. So Karen's is an interactive diner and an absurdly fun experience. At Karen's, you will be greeted and waited upon by rude waiters who in return are expecting you to give it a full Karen. A place where you can complain until the cows come home, because we literally don't care.
It's like I've seen videos of like a US one, isn't it?
Yeah, I've seen like one that was like with like This American Life, where they intentionally just like yell and scream at each other, and that's what this is going to become. It's going to be like a cute, funny idea for a few weeks, and then someone's going to get like stabbed or something, and it's going to go downhill very quickly.
100% rude staff. Our staff are rude. Our manners are non-existent, and we are the perfect place for Karens everywhere to vent their anger and dismay at the world. Come on, ask for the manager. We dare you.
Yeah, get in real quick for that first week, because after that it's going to be a hellhole.
I refuse. Look, my mental health is already. No, my mental health has been in the toilet as it is lately. I'm not going on fucking rude service.
It's meant to be funny.
It's meant to be funny, but some things are just not going to work for me. All right.
Fair enough.
Give it a week or two, it'll be burnt down. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Speaking of things being burnt down. So there was like a super fun project that was going around, in which there were going to be a whole bunch of big name authors, you know, working on like a shared multiverse, and like people could like kind of claim ownership of characters and have stories and shit happening, which is very exciting and, you know, really cool thing to buy into. It was also an NFT. And also, it was, and people were not pleased. In fact, they were so not pleased that 5 hours after announcing it, they announced that it was cancelled. So that's the thing.
Well done.
That was quick. That's a pretty quick turnaround.
Huh.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of NFTs, Dead by Daylight is selling NFT shit.
Fuck off. Fuck it. Bye.
I believe it was a chance to unlock the new. They're selling models. They're selling models as NFTs, and I believe there was something related to it that might give you a chance at owning some DLC, and it's related to Pinhead from their horror movie.
So they're selling a loot box.
I don't know enough details about it other than the words NFT immediately make me go, Grift, fuck off. Any chance that was there of me potentially ever buying or playing Dead by Daylight immediately just got binned by associating with an NFT. So, like, GG.
No, fucking
GG, no re.
To way. Anyway.
Do we have anything else?
No, I can't top that.
Hey. So I have a friend who was born as a male and is now a woman, and she has red wine that she leaves out for people. And I drank it, and I passed out, and I woke up at Parliament Station, and it's public transport.
Oh, Sam.
I have a friend who is who.
How long were you holding on to that one?
I have a friend who was a lady now is non-binary who calls themselves Sen, and he did my teeth, and I had experienced nirvana. It was transcendental. And then I took like one of the room on the rails on the road, and it was driven by a person who is another gender than they started with, and she was driving you know what she was driving? She was driving a tram. She was driving a tram. It's the public tram, the thing that goes along to go to a different place.
Stop!
Don't say that there's no such thing as good trans comedy.
If you keep going, Sam, I'm going to have to mute you in Zoom.
But that doesn't even include the prefix trans. That's not funny. Come on. Time to go to bed. All right.
Yeah, see, you ruined Batman's evening.
It's the end of the fucking show.
It is the end of the show.
Give me something to do.
Thank you all for listening and watching and all that kind of fun stuff. I'm being distracted by a lady in the best possible way.
My music is also very good.
Yeah, tell them where they can find you, Sam.
Coming out on Thursday on Spotify and YouTube and everything. So you should follow me at Pyrite Music, PYRYTE_music. And also Sammydude, SAMMIDEEDGE on Twitch and Twitter. Playing the Forgotten City and shit. Woo!
Oh, hey, Miss Zell.
Hey, I'm Mrs. Latte. You can catch me on the internet here on Twitch, or if you're listening, on Twitter at MRSLLANTE. And if you just joined, we do release a podcast on Tuesdays. So check it out. This podcast.
There were a lady and now they're a man. And
Stop.
Screwing people that look like animal transfer. That's transfer. Ha ha ha.
Liz.
What other things, Stan?
You can find me at my desk with my head in my hands on most days, mostly tonight, but most days. You can typically find me on Twitter and Twitch at Calgar, KALGAR. However, as far as Twitch is concerned, I'm on a hiatus at the moment while I figure out my mental health. So I'll be on Twitch pretty much only for podcasts for the next month, maybe two. I think Elden Ring might be a good time for me to return, but we'll figure that out as we go. Anyway, KLGR, Twitter, Twitch, all that kind of fun stuff. And collectively, Inconsolables AU on the Twitter. I'm not letting you get a word in edgewise, Sam. Shut up, no.
If I have to,
listen.
Ariel ended up like going from being a mermaid to being like a human man, would that make her transatlantic?
Or
trans-Pacific?
Stop. Collectively, Inconsolables AU on Twitter. Inconsolables.
You better put some fucking rim shots in this bitch.
I'll put the rim shots over what you say. Anyway, Inconsolables on YouTube and yeah. If you're listening to this on the podcast things, give us a review. Look, honestly, I won't blame you if it's a 1 after all those.
I love Community Channel. But if Natalie turned into a guy, then Natalie Tran. That's the joke, Natalie Tran.
I don't know where that's coming from.
Because her name is Natalie
Magic,
Tran.
just as a side note, while I've turned off most of the commands, a shout out should still work. It just might not quack. Anyway, that's the end of the show. Well,
bye.
Oh my god. That's the end of the podcast. If we want to chat and talk more shit, then we can.
Hold on. I need to.
I'm going to stop recording. I'm going to stop recording the audio and the video, but like we're still on Twitch.